Good wishes, dear students. Welcome to the world of chemistry that is filled with plenty of wonders and mind-blowing magics. I wish you all success to enjoy the knowledge you will be deriving from the syllabus prescribed for you, as well as it's an opportunity to open up your mind to bring out many more hidden and unknown magics of chemistry to the humanity for its betterment. As a chemistry teacher, first I will concentrate in teaching every little concepts given in the syllabus detailedly, and once we finish with it, I will concentrate on working many questions from various competitive exam points of view, providing you plenty of shortcuts and tips to work out quickly and easily. Here, I would like to disclose some magic so that your learning of chemistry becomes easier. Follow the rule of 6 P's from day 1, that is, proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. So, dear students, stay with me with an open mind to walk confidently into the world of chemistry. Coming back to our standard 11 syllabus, there are 15 lessons prescribed for you. 5 under inorganic chemistry, 5 under organic chemistry, and 5 under physical chemistry. Each lesson is different from the others, giving you plenty of new concepts. Now these concepts will make a better foundation for the whole knowledge of chemistry. So, make attempt from the beginning as I told you earlier so that you can build your future on the solid ground. We will start with the first lesson in inorganic chemistry, that is basic concepts of chemistry and chemical calculations. Now, as you know, chemistry is a study of matter. Matter is made up of atoms. So, based on it, matter is classified into 2 categories. One is based on the physical appearance of atoms. The other one is chemical composition of atoms. So based on the physical classification, you have learned from your lower classes. It's divided into further 3 categories: solid, liquid and gas. Ice becomes the solid form of the matter. Water becomes the liquid form of the water. Water gas becomes the gaseous form of the matter. I did no need to give you a greater explanation because you understand it better. Let's move on to the other classification, that is a chemical classification of matter. It's further divided into 2 categories. One is a mixture type of chemical classification. The other one is a pure substances type of chemical classification. Mixture type of classification further divided into 2 categories. One is a homogeneous type, the other one is a heterogeneous type. When we say homogeneous type, the matter exists in the same phase. Heterogeneous, when you say the matter exists in the different phase. For example, rice grain you can take. It's a solid form of the matter. The same phase is existing. When we say heterogeneous, for example, you are taking a sugar crystals, dissolving it into a water. Sugar is of solid form of the matter and water is of liquid form of the matter. So here solid phase exists and a liquid phase exists. So mixture of 2 phases taking place here. Hence it's called as a heterogeneous type of mixture. When we say homogeneous, 2 different states of solid state only is mixing together. Now, in terms of explanation, let's see in short. Homogeneous stands for, it's a process involving substances in the same phase. It may be a solid form, it may be a liquid form, or it may be a gaseous form. When we move on to heterogeneous, it's a process involving substances in a different phases. Again, maybe a solid and a liquid can get together, or a liquid and a gas can get together. So that's the meaning of heterogeneous when we say different phases existing. Homogeneous when we say same phase exists there. The other category based on a chemical classification is pure substances. Here again we've got a 2 category. One is the element, the other one is a compound. Let's learn quickly a small definition for a mixture type. It consists of more than one chemical entity present without any chemical interactions. So based on the mixture only, two divisions are there. One is a homogeneous, one is a heterogeneous. Moving on to pure substance. It consists or composed of simple atoms or molecules. So here again we've got a two category. One is the elements, the other one is a compound. So moving on to learn what's the meaning of element. You have learned it in the lower classes. I'm just briefing you all with a key answer in it or a key concept of it as short as possible. Element, when we say, it consists of only one type of atom. The best example will be your periodic table. There are about 118 elements till date, which is scientifically proven. So they are called as an elements made up of same type of atom they are. Now you have also learned atoms are the smallest neutral particle and they are made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. Further, element is divided into two categories, monoatomic and a polyatomic. When we say monoatomic, it's made up of one type of atom. For example, gold, they one atom, gold, Au, copper, Cu. So if you look at the difference, Au we write only once, but when we represent hydrogen, we write it as a H2. Now oxygen, we write it as a O2. Chlorine, we write it as a Cl2. Because there's a meaning, it's a monoatomic category. Under element, elements are made up of atom. But further there are so many classification, monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic and it's so on. So all those categories will fall under polyatomic. Examples of hydrogen is given, phosphorus is given, sulfur is given. These are allotropes of phosphor and allotropes of sulfur, which we will learn in the upcoming lessons there. So all you have to remember is when we hear the word hydrogen. Now hydrogen is a diatomic gas. Oxygen is a diatomic and a chlorine, it's a diatomic element and a nitrogen, it's a diatomic. So these are the meanings of two hydrogen atoms make up to one unit of hydrogen. So we do not write only hydrogen, we write it as a H2 because it's a diatomic molecule. Diatomic, triatomic all will fall under a polyatomic category. So moving on to the last one, compound. Now compounds consist of molecules. Here we have seen pure substances are made up of atoms and made up of molecules. Those which are made up of atoms are called as an element. Those which are made up of molecules are called as a compound. Let's see the explanation of it. Consists of molecules which contain two or more atoms of different elements. Let's look at the example, then go back to the definition. Now if you look at it, one atom of carbon, two atoms of oxygen. So carbon is an element, oxygen is an element. Two different elements are combining together in a fixed proportion to give us a carbon dioxide product. This carbon dioxide is called as a molecule. So similarly you can take HNO3 you can consider here. Now if you look at it, hydrogen is an element, nitrogen is an element, oxygen is an element. So three elements are mixing together to give us the product called nitric acid. Now together they are called as a molecule, but nitric acid molecule is made up of hydrogen, one atom of hydrogen, one atom of nitrogen and three atoms of oxygen. So that's the meaning of consists of molecule which contains two or more atoms of different elements. So the different element is a keyword here. Let's talk about one more example of glucose. It's made up of 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen and 6 atoms of oxygen. Put together they give us a molecule which is called as a glucose. One more example, sodium chloride. One atom of sodium, one atom of chlorine. Together they give us a sodium chloride molecule. I hope you are understanding that the distinguish or the point of difference between element and compound. Element, when we say they are made up of one type of atoms only. Compound, when we say different atoms from different elements combining together to give us the product there. A very important property under compound is properties of compounds are different from those of their constituent elements. What's the meaning of constituent elements? As we have seen, sodium is an element, chlorine is an element, but both the elements are contributing one or each amino. Each one is contributing one atom of theirs to form a product, sodium chloride. The same example is taken. By nature, sodium has got it's a shiny metal, highly reactive in nature. Chlorine is an irritating gas. But one atom of sodium, one atom of chlorine will give us a crystalline solid, which is a salt. And it's important in the biological function. You already know it. So this is the meaning of properties of compounds are different. Individually, it's an highly reactive metal. Chlorine is an irritating gas. But put together, it totally forms a new compound. That's a salt formation is being made here. So this is a little introduction in terms of basic concepts of chemistry and calculation. We will see in the next class about the atomic mass and a relative atomic mass and so on. Thank you.